Every time Elon opens his mouth about crypto, it moves. What do you make of his influence over this market and whether or not it is healthy?
Well, look, Elon is an iconic entrepreneur, an iconic leader, and a very smart person specifically about the payments and fintech space. So I think people are smart to listen to what he has to say. He helped play a role in building PayPal. Obviously, he's thought about Bitcoin a lot, and he sees its potential for the future. Long term, the story about Bitcoin is more than Elon Musk. Even the impact of these specific comments, I think, are bigger than just him. It shows that he was concerned about environmental issues. He investigated them, and he saw that Bitcoin is a net positive for the environment. I think a lot of institutional investors are going to go through the same journey. And so I think it's positive in that light.
Ethereum rallied more than Bitcoin did on his comments, up more like 4% versus 2% for Bitcoin. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I think it was new news that he has an allocation to Ethereum. A lot of people are excited about Ethereum for a couple of different reasons. One, it's moving to a more carbon neutral way of securing the blockchain. Two, it has a major technological upgrade coming in August that's going to make it more like a consumable commodity. I think it's going to make it a lot easier for individual investors to understand what Ethereum is. Many people are calling it the asset of the summer. So I think it was primed to rally, and his expressing his excitement about it, the fact that he owns it, just was a catalyst for an asset that was already ready to move higher.
So talking about catalysts, obviously the Bitcoin market has been quite sluggish, and you see much more volatility when it comes to stable coins. Talk to us about the trends you're seeing, the volume. Are people taking a pause because of the China crackdown? What's going on here?
A great question. I think you have to look big picture. Crypto is still up over 250% over the last 12 months, making it the best performing asset class in the world. So to some extent, we shouldn't be surprised that it went through a pullback. But there have been a number of news items: the China crackdown on mining, Elon's original concern about environmental consequences, news that regulators are focusing on the space, that have caused people to take a breath. But the secret about those news items, Emily, is that while they're short-term introducing volatility in the market, long-term, they're seeding the next new bull market. More regulation is actually good for crypto. Environmental focus is good for crypto. China moving mining out offshore and decentralizing the mining network is good for crypto. So I think this may be the pause that refreshes. I think the seeds of the next bull market are being born in these very news items that are introducing volatility today. And we'll see how it pans out.
I wonder how many investors are also waiting for Tesla to start accepting Bitcoin again, or to see whether Tesla will indeed do that. Take a listen to what Elon had to say about that.
And we want to do a little bit more diligence to confirm confirm that the percentage of renewable energy usage is most likely sort of at or above 50%, and that there is there is a trend towards increasing that number. And if so, then Tesla will resume Bitcoin, accepting Bitcoin.
If that happens, Matt, is that going to catalyze a whole nother market cycle here?
Well, I think what it's going to signal is something really important. A lot of institutional investors took a pause when Elon made that tweet about Bitcoin's carbon consumption. We work with professional and institutional investors at Bitwise, and we certainly heard more concerns about that. I think knowing that Bitcoin has gone through Musk's diligence process and come out the other side will be an important signal for those professional investors to perhaps move forward with allocations that were on pause. So I don't think there's anything about Tesla accepting Bitcoin that specifically catalyzes a rally. But the fact that it's been subjected to environmental due diligence by one of the leading environmentalists in the business community and come out looking good, I think will be important for professional investors and institutions who were thinking about Bitcoin anyway as a hedge, as a technology play, as one of the best performing asset classes over the last few years. So I do think it's important in that light.
Meantime, I want to talk about volume, because when you look at trading volumes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're almost dwarfed by trading volumes in some of these other digital assets. Tether, for example, which of course has a host of legal questions looming over it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think Tether is a special case. There are a lot of concerns about Tether and its commercial paper. Certainly a lot of investigations going on in that space. The stablecoin market, Tether is the largest stablecoin, is moving toward a more regulated future, like the rest of the crypto market. I think the sooner we get there, the better. I do think investors will be back to mainstream large cap crypto assets soon. I think whatever pause we've seen over the past few months is probably natural after the rally we saw in the 12 months that preceded that. So a lot of concern about Tether. I think it's part of a bigger story, but yeah.
And what's your outlook on mainstream crypto? So let's say Ethereum versus Bitcoin by the end of the year. How do they look different?
Oh, well, I think investors should probably own both. The thing about crypto is it's hard to know exactly how it will play out in the future. And anyone who tells you they know exactly where it's going is probably a little full of themselves. So the safe bet is for investors to own both. The real answer is those are two different things. Bitcoin is really digital gold. It's great for hedging inflation long-term in a portfolio. It's great as a non-sovereign store of wealth. Ethereum is the rails for the new internet of finance. It is the internet that the new financial system is being built upon. They both use blockchain technology. They're both crypto assets, but doing very different things. And I think investors who are excited about crypto, big picture, as part of our new financial future, probably want exposure to both assets.